So in this video we're looking at doing something a bit more complicated, and what we're going to look at is when your robot enters the blue areas where points are worth double the number of points they are normally. We're then going to look at staying inside these blue areas until you get double the number of points. Now it's worth noting that these are just ideas and showing you how to do certain things, but in certain fields they may be more or less helpful, they may not get you more points, so you'll have to experiment with that and see how it goes. For example, if we just click onto stage 2 here, we can see that if we went into this blue section in the middle, that would be well worth staying in, whereas perhaps in stage 1 this would be less useful. Anyway, so let's have a look at how to do this. First thing to do, as per usual, click on AI to open our program. So first of all, we need to detect the blue area, and once we're in the blue area we want to go forwards. So to do this we want to put a statement just above forwards, which is going to be for detecting blue. So we're going to call it in blue. Okay, now I put it in the wrong place, so I'm just going to right click and click on move up. So what we're going to do is in this statement we're going to create a variable which we're going to call blue, and we're going to set it to 1 when we detect that we're in the blue area, and then we're going to have other statements above this which, when blue is equal to 1, are going to keep us within this area. So first of all, to create our variable we want to click on var. We want it to give an initial value of 0, we're going to call it blue, and we're going to add a new variable. So yeah, in this case it's already been created, so it's already here. So once you've added it, it will come up on the variable list. We can then click on the green tick. So in this statement we want to detect that we've seen blue on our colour sensors. So we're going to use the blue areas given in the sheet and put these on both the left and the right colour sensors. So we've got between 100, 100, 121, 170 to 190, 250, 255, and the same again for the right. Okay, so we've now, in this condition, we've said this is what we're going to do when we're in the blue. Now, initially, we just want to move around the blue in a straight line because to move around. We're then going to add further statements to turn we leave the blue area. So first, let's set the duration to 60 and let's go forwards, just as we do in the forward statement. So this is becoming our new forward statement for when we're in the blue area. We then need to set the advanced action. So we want to set, and we can set advanced actions by clicking on this notepad here. We want to say we want the variable blue to equal 1. However, we only want it to do this if loaded objects is less than 6, because once it's 6, we want it to no longer stay in the blue area so it can reach the deposition area. So we're going to use an if statement. We're going to say if loaded objects is less than 6, and remember we then use curly brackets, and inside this we're going to say blue, so the variable name, equals 1. And remember to put a semicolon at the end. Else, now when you type in the else, you normally have to scroll down the little list to find the else, curly brackets again, we're going to say blue equals to 0. So here we're saying if we've detected blue by this condition, and loaded objects is less than 6 and blue, the variable equals 1, else blue is equal to 0. Okay. So to check this is working, what we can do is we can save. Yeah, and then we can build. Okay, we can now exit this and reset. We're going to load our robot with our test program. Okay, and then we can then click on this, which here with the ladybird and the magnifying glass, which is the debugging info. And this is going to show us all our variables when the robot is running. So we can look at the variable blue and check it goes to 1 when we're in the blue area. So let's click start. So here we can see we've got blue and it's currently 0. Now if I click in this blue area here, okay, give it a couple of minutes because it's running other actions at the moment. Can we see how blue has now updated to 1? So we're now running that in the blue statement as it's moving forwards. However, can you see how it's still running all the other statements still above it? So it's still collecting, it's still detecting walls. So what we need to do now is add further statements for when the robot goes outside the blue area, as it will do in a second. So instead of going out, we want it to turn back in. So let's reset and open our program. So to do this, we want to add two statements above our in the blue statement, and this is going to be one for detecting when we go outside this blue area on the left sensor and one on the right. So let's add a statement. Remember, if you want to add a statement below a statement, you click on that statement and do add new statement. So this is going to go outside blue left. So we've got the colour sensor values for the normal floor value, so this pinky colour outside the blue. So we're going to say when we see this, so we want to put these values in. These are given on the sheet, on the second page of the activity. Now there's one more condition that we also need to put in, because we only want it to do this if our variable blue is equal to 1, else it'll do this all the time. So we scroll down, advanced conditions, and we want to say that blue must be equal to 1. Now we need to put this double equals because it's a comparator. So we're saying is it equal to rather than blue is equal 1. Press the tick. So now we want to put the action. So if we've gone outside the blue area on our left colour sensor, to move back in, we want the left wheel to be still, and we're just going to do a bit of reversing on our right wheel. I'm going to do this just for a little bit of time. So yes, it's worth, once you've got the program working, coming and playing around with these variables to see what angle works better to get the most points, because you do not want to just be going off at 90 degrees every time, because you'll get stuck in a loop. So now we've done that one, we need to do a new statement for outside blue right. So this time we add those colour sensor values to the right. Okay, and again add the advanced condition that blue must equal to 1. Tick. And this time we want the condition such that we're going outside on our right, so we want our right wheel to be at 0, and we're going to reverse on our left. Okay, so now we've written this, let's save that. Okay, and build, and then let's give this a go. It's going to load into our blue robot. We've again left this debugging panel up so we can see what's going on. So we've started, let's just give it help, we're just going to put it in the blue area. So our blue variable is now gone to 1. So what we're expecting it to do is, while loaded objects is less than 6, it's going to turn around if it tries to go outside the blue area. So we're doing well. So as you can see, by staying in this blue area, we're getting a really high number of points here, because we're getting double the value of each of the objects. So are we this time? So we've gone outside and then we reverse back in, okay? So that's shown that our program is working and we're keeping inside the blue area. So again, that time we went out with the other sensor, and there we go. So now we've got 6 objects. When we next try to go out the blue area, our robot just goes out of the blue area. So we've shown there how in a very quick amount of time we can get a very high number of points. So that is a strategy that's worth looking at and worth adopting for your programs. But again, make sure you test it. It might or may not give you a high number of points, as it does not put you near the orange area necessarily, whereas randomly going around may actually mean you deposit more. And again, it may be more suitable for World 2 than World 1.